Okay, hello, and welcome back to the fourth episode of the unofficial, official pod, Straight No Chaser. Woo-woo. As always, I am Mike Luganbill, and I'm here with two other guys in the band, Segi Isho and Tyler Trepp. Say hi, guys.
Hello.
Hi, guys.
Hello, good to be back.
It's great to be back with you guys, you know what I mean?
I do.
It's always good to be back with
I've
y'all.
been with you guys for a couple weeks now, but it's great to be back on the pod with you, is what I'm saying.
It's 2 weeks too long, a little bit, I think.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Wait, what?
I'm just kidding.
What do you
It's
mean
2
by
weeks
that? 2 weeks too
long
long?
with-
I was making a joke that
Oh.
it's 2 weeks too long, but actually, I really enjoyed
Well,
these
if
last
you-
2 weeks.
If you really feel like that,
I
then
don't.
You've got a lot coming up because there's another
I
3
was
weeks
just,
of me.
I was totally
and
joking.
then you have another 3 months of us in the fall.
Yeah.
Right? So
Oh.
What do you say
you
about that?
you need to square that situation.
It was a joke, guys. I love being here. Are you kidding?
Truth in every joke, folks.
Yeah. We are so glad to be back with you guys. The whole idea of the podcast was us on tour, which we are right now, and us recapping the shows and all the highs and lows and everything. So that's what we're going to do here on this episode. I'm excited to ask the guys all sorts of questions about all the different things about music that they haven't learned yet, songs they're still messing up, lots of dance moves that they're screwing up, especially Tyler. Like I don't know what it is. Dude,
I didn't think I was. I thought I was
Is
getting
that
a lot of it.
a coordination
I
thing,
think
or
about
is it-
90% now, but there's obviously some. I'm not a dancer.
Don't take that from him. Don't take that from him.
Jill said she was very proud.
Actually, there was a great moment this evening with Segi, because if you've seen the show, we're doing a bunch of 90s songs because it's the 90s tour, summer of the 90s. It's S&C Music to go and look and see about all the shows. But there's a song that we do in the show. It's called All Star, and there's a whistle solo in the middle of it. And Segi does it, and he's amazing at it. And he thinks that it's weird for some reason, and he hates when anybody draws attention to it. So tonight I decided that I was going to say, ladies and gentlemen, Segi Isho on the whistle solo. And what I didn't realize is that he laughs when it happens, so the whistle solo wasn't as magnificent tonight as it always is because he was laughing. I thought he was going to be mad.
Dozens of times.
Yeah.
If you're smiling, you can't whistle.
Oh,
If you-
man. But I think
the
it's weird that you don't like it. I think it's really weird.
The physics of whistling.
Why don't you
if you
like
eat-
it, though?
If you even start to do any sort of other facial expression,
it's gone.
you're gone. If
Yeah.
you're whistling and you make
Okay,
me
but
laugh,
my question is, why don't you like the
Because
attention when I'm like,
it's because
like a feature
it's
moment?
Not. It's not.
Is it because you
It's-
think whistling is loserish or
no,
something?
I'm an excellent whistler.
I know you are. That's what I'm
But
saying.
yeah,
to
you
you.
do it all the time.
I don't think it's anything. I'm saying to draw attention to it is like saying,
Okay.
Hey, look at this guy over here. He can
hey,
walk.
look at this guy just doing this part. Like just randomly announcing, hey everyone, Jasper on tenor 2 dooms.
Okay, that's fair.
You know what I mean? Like,
but not
But-
everybody can
but-
whistle. Not everybody
but
can whistle.
the
That's what they
point
say.
in that song, it's like the only thing happening. So it's okay. He's doing a whistle solo. Like, that's pretty cool. Like, there's
no
nothing
one
else.
has ever
Exactly,
said-
There's
Tyler.
nothing else
Exactly.
happening in the
Exactly.
song.
No one has
Exactly.
ever said, oh, he's doing a whistle
But
solo.
you
That's
should step
pretty cool.
up, and you used to step up, and you don't anymore because you think it's awkward.
No, I don't think it's awkward. I
You
just
do,
don't,
though.
I don't think it needs to be elevated outside of just being heard.
Okay.
There's nothing else
That's
going
fair.
in the song. We're just going doom.
That's what you do the entire show.
Yeah,
Okay,
but-
so
In
that's
different
We got to do
patterns.
something.
right.
We're entertaining a crowd.
Sit back and listen.
So that's one of
Okay.
many moments that we've had so far.
Why don't you do backflips during the off mic?
on this tour?
Well, maybe next week.
We're still entertaining
that have
crowds.
been really fun, and that's what we're going to go through this evening. And I should say, this is the first time that we're doing the pod on the bus. We are in the back lounge.
We are in the back
right now.
lounge.
You're probably hearing some
in Omaha,
ancillary
Nebraska.
noises.
You're
little
going to hear
rumble.
you're going to hear the rumble. We are going to be in Omaha for the night. We have a day off here tomorrow, and then we're heading to Minnesota, and then
Minnesota.
we have a show on the 24th of Wednesday in Duluth, which will be fun, and then we're going to continue the tour. So we flew out on July 5th to Los Angeles because we had a show at the Hollywood Bowl. We were opening for who?
Patti LaBelle.
Patti
Patti LaBelle at the Hollywood Bowl. It was amazing. I don't know about you guys, but it was a great way to start the tour.
Yeah,
You know what I
at the
mean?
Hollywood
Like
Bowl, you think?
the bowl, it's just got so much history and stuff. And then it was a nice way to start
Totally.
everything out.
And I think what was obviously the Hollywood Bowl is an iconic venue, and it's always so cool to perform there. It's whenever you get a chance to do it, it's amazing. And I thought for us, like we were obviously going out there to LA to open for Patti LaBelle, but we also were in the back of our minds preparing for this 90s show. So we had
Yeah,
all
that's
this
a good
music
point.
in our
That's a good
minds like
point.
coming in, but we were doing our
Yeah.
yacht rock set because we already knew it. And so we were like, okay, yes, our minds are focused on this new 90s set, but then we're like, oh yeah, we have to do this yacht rock show too. So like another part of your brain went over here to do this show, and we
Luckily,
nailed it.
was like the night after we got there, right?
Right.
Or
Yeah.
the second night after
Couple
we got
nights,
there.
yeah.
So we could
Right.
learn some of the 90s music, and then, because we got there on a Friday,
Right.
right? And then we learned the music Saturday, rehearsed the music Saturday, and then we
Yeah.
had the show Sunday. So it was nice to get it out of the way.
Like still
So-
cool to be like, oh yeah, we can still do this full show, but also
Yeah, right.
we're preparing for this big
Our
90s
brains
tour
are
with
crazy things.
all these new music, and it was
Yeah.
like, yeah, dude, it was cool. Yes, we can do both of these things at the same time, which was, I mean, in my mind that seemed pretty
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, and our close and very personal friend Craig Robinson was there. It's cool to see him. in
He's from The
audience.
Office. He played Daryl.
Yeah, we met him in Maui.
We did.
He came to our show in Maui, but it was cool to see him again.
One of the other things that I thought was awesome about rehearsing in LA or North Hollywood or wherever we were was that we were close to a lot of comedy venues.
Yes, we went to the
And
Comedy Club, right?
Was it Comedy Store?
It was the
or
Comedy
Improv?
Store,
yeah.
Yeah. Who was there that night?
There was, let's see, Martin Lawrence. There
Oh, yeah,
was
Martin Lawrence was
Theo
there. That was
Vaughn.
crazy.
There
Tom
was
Papa.
Tom Papa, Neil Brennan.
Neil Brennan was.
We saw a
amazing.
lot of really big
Yeah.
acts in the comedy world, and it was.
That's
Yeah.
always a fun way
Cool
to
to
break
see.
from
Tom
rehearsal
Paris.
too.
Oh yeah,
Spend the night after we've gotten to know the music a bit and just go check
Step
out
away
for a
from it
minute.
for a second.
Yeah. So we had that show at the Bowl on the 7th, and then we spent the week rehearsing all of this 90s music. And I thought last year when we were rehearsing the yacht rock stuff, that was going to be the most work that we had done as a band. And
it to that point it was.
I think it might have been, but this year, summer, it was a less amount of songs, but it felt like more work. Am I wrong about that?
There's a lot more choreography.
Is that why it felt like more work?
Probably.
Yeah, I think so. I mean,
Because the show is not like all the way new. I'm saying, like it's
Yeah.
not
Yeah,
like
yeah,
it's
there's
not
some
fully-
staple.
yeah, there's songs we've
SNC
done
songs.
before, but we haven't done some of those songs in a little while, like Livia DeLoca and
Right.
Motown Phil. We haven't done in a long time too. So
Mhm.
those are songs that we had done before, but it took a minute to get them
Yeah.
up on his feet.
It was tough.
Yeah,
It was a long week. I thought we did a really good job of
yeah.
learning the music early on. I thought guys had a handle on it. Some other tours, I feel like it's been a little more difficult.
Sure.
You know,
I think
learn.
last year with the rock tour and all the new music, and then this year with the 90s tour, we've learned that getting prepared way beforehand with the music and the learning tracks and all that stuff, it goes a long way, right? If we're going to learn 10, 12, 13 new songs for a show, which is brand new to us, because usually our new tours would maybe be like 5 new songs. And now we're talking about double, maybe triple that. And so we've gotten better about the prep hand beforehand, like getting
Mhm.
guys the music, getting guys the tracks, like this is what we're doing, this is what it is.
Yeah.
You have everything you need to work on this beforehand, and we
Mhm.
have all the guys in the group to do that, and they did it, and we've definitely been better for that.
Segi, how frustrating is it for you as someone who always knows the music on their way in? You always listen to it. You always learn it when you're at home and you come in and you know it. How frustrating is it when other guys haven't listened and haven't learned? Is it something that you're like, okay, cool, that's just how it is? Or is it something that you feel like, hey, I should say something about this?
Oh, I definitely get frustrated. I've been saying stuff. I
Yeah.
try to send as many reminders and always remind on calls, like start looking at the music, because
Yes, yeah,
you're
that's
doing
right, you do that.
yourself a disservice by waiting. Because if you're just trying to learn everything cold rehearsal week, and then adding choreo on top of
It
that.
also helps with learning the choreo too,
Yeah,
right? You have to think
you're
about the
only
music
hurting
so
yourself.
much. Yeah.
Yeah, it's hurting the group because we're spending more time doing
Right.
this when we can be putting it all together on ears, on microphone, on stage. But you're really hurting yourself most because it's going to be much harder for you, much more pressure on you to learn everything in a short time.
How did you think it went this rehearsal week?
Pretty good. I think we've only been getting better in this sense.
I agree, man. I really do.
And that's for several reasons. For all of us just being like, we can't keep putting ourselves behind the 8 ball the first day of rehearsal when we have to wait till 2 days before the show to start learning choreography. Like that's not giving us our best opportunity to have a good first show. So I think we've just been getting better because we all keep each other accountable. Arrangers are keeping everyone else in the group accountable, saying, hey, just send me a quick voice note of you singing your part, just so I know that
Mhm.
you
You
know.
got it. You got it.
And
Yeah.
if you don't know it, or if you need help on something, this is also a tool to do that.
Speaking of the first show, we opened in Anaheim
Yep.
on that Friday.
Right.
So for a bit of context, we flew in on Friday evening. We rehearsed on Saturday the new stuff and the Yacht Rock stuff a little bit for the show at the Bowl on Sunday. And then we had rehearsal Monday through Thursday. And then we drove from LA to Anaheim, and we had a show in Anaheim on Friday. I thought for an opening show, for a new show, I thought it went really well.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
I
thought
think it
the
did
crowd
too.
was great.
Yeah.
I thought that we had fun, and I think
Mhm.
that's what we're trying. I think Steve says it in his intro. Just have fun.
I'll be honest, I was a little bit worried about the 90s stuff because, so last summer we did the Yacht Rock stuff, which is, from what we know of our audience, is like wheelhouse of what they know, like the 70s, the 80s, like all that stuff that's like stuff that they will definitely know. So I was honest, I really was worried about how this would go over. And especially on that first show in Anaheim, I was like, okay, let's see how this goes over. But you could see people out there like singing along to the songs, and
There are certain moments in the show,
yeah, they were like
where you really feel the
yeah,
energy.
Yeah, and they were like younger people singing along. But I was like, okay, like this is hitting, and it's a good show with the right amount of fun songs, the right amount of choreography songs, the right amount of more not serious but like good arrangement, like fun those songs like
Mhm.
too. I think we developed a really good set for this, and it's working well. I think.
Segi, how did you feel about the first show? How did you feel about, just as actually somebody who has a hand in creating the set list, how did you feel the first show went? What?
I think the first show was great. The feedback we got from Brits and Jill, which is never sugar-coated.
Right.
Who are they?
David Britt's our manager, and Jill Hillier, our
Thank you.
choreographer.
Right.
And
Those are usually the first.
Yeah, they're always at our first shows, right?
Always
Our
at our first show,
manager
and usually the
and our
first
choreographer,
people
Jill,
to give
who's
us
amazing.
honest answers
Yeah,
because they've
that's
done
right.
it forever and they've been with us forever.
they're very clear on when something works, when something doesn't work, when we work, when we don't work, when we're not performing well, and when we are. So the feedback we got from them was that it was our best first show we've done.
I didn't
and-
hear that, so that's cool to.
Yeah, and I agree. I think he was worried about how the audience would perceive it.
Oh.
And my point is, think about it
If
this
they're
way.
expecting something else, like the holiday stuff with the suits and all that,
You know,
so
it's very clearly branded. the
if they're
90s show.
coming, then they know
Yeah.
that they're not getting
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I think I forget what I was saying.
No, I'm sorry.
Look, it clearly says
I'm
summer
sorry, I hate
the
when that
90s.
Yeah. Oh no, I was saying, look at it this way.
Yeah.
So, people our age know all the '90s music, right?
Right.
Now, a lot of our demographic is one generation above,
Like
right?
our parents'
Yeah.
age, yeah.
But think about your parents in the '90s. They were probably listening to what you were asking them to play
Yeah.
on the radio. And at the time, it was the '90s. They were exposed to all that music. They might not know they know these songs, but they will know and recognize, and it will transport them back to those times, driving their kid to practice. The music is very nostalgic, and it's really easy to connect to, and it's fun, high energy.
Yes, exactly. I thought Anaheim was a good show. I think for me specifically, in early shows, I have a problem with what I'm hearing in my ears. We have an in-ear mix. We have
Right.
in-ear monitors.
That takes a few shows to get
It
adjusted
does,
to.
and
Yeah.
and I think one of the issues that I have always early on is when we're rehearsing, the energy that we have in front of an audience when the lights are on it's just nothing that you can really match in a rehearsal.
There's no way.
That can be sometimes a challenge in the early shows, and I thought this time it wasn't as much. I thought that was cool
Because
so.
there's definitely been opening shows before where like we've rehearsed this whole week beforehand, and like now we get up on stage and put
it's
our ears
really
on,
loud,
and
or
and
everyone's
now the
singing
first
out
show is
yeah.
everyone's singing out now, so
Right.
now my ears I have to
Right.
totally mess with this.
After Anaheim, we went up to the Mountain Winery in Saratoga.
Such a beautiful
It
venue.
was the most
Mountain Winery is one
beautiful
of the most. It's the
That was
coolest
the first
venues.
show that we did with Lisa Loeb. She is magnificent. She's delightful. She is just as good as she always was.
Yep.
Her songs are great. As
she's
far
so, she's so normal.
yeah, she's just
Like
awesome. Yeah,
backstage,
she's great.
She's
just
very
like-
cool.
yeah.
Yeah.
She's great.
Very, I get like very Midwestern vibes.
Sure.
Even though I don't think she's from the Midwest.
Yeah, she's great.
I feel like everybody that was with her was really nice. She had her son
Yeah.
with her. He
Yeah.
was
Her
awesome.
son Emmett.
She's just been super cool to hang with.
Yeah.
And like just a great hang. So that was the Mountain Winery. And then from Saratoga, we went to Napa. And what was really fun about Napa was we knew that we were going to have the next day off. So the Napa show was on Sunday. And a lot of the guys' wives flew in because we were going to do a few tastings on Monday. There was a lot of friends and family there. I think
DR was there.
I think your
DR was
family
there.
was there, Tyler, right?
Yes.
Also,
yes.
DR was there, which is
DR was there
great.
with Sarah.
That was a fun show.
It was very fun.
We had hotel rooms as our dressing rooms. So we had one little area in this little separate room where they had lunch and dinner and stuff, and where we got dressed and all that. But I really liked that show. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah, it was a fun show. The Meritage. I
Oh,
always
yeah,
called it the
Meritage.
Meritage.
Yeah, yes.
But
Yeah,
I
it's
guess I guess
Yeah, you don't say
Uh,
heritage, you say heritage.
It was an earlier show, so it's always weird when you do a
Yeah.
show in like full daylight.
Okay, so
Everything was an outside show. It's still light outside, so it's a little bit different. But I think
what is it about that you don't like? About the
it's not
light
that I don't-
seeing
outside
everybody's
show?
faces.
it's not that I don't like it. I think it's just different.
No.
Because like
It's
usually,
awkward.
okay, so usually
It's like having your
As-
entire family in the front row. That's
yeah,
what it's like.
Yeah,
Yep.
because you can see everybody.
It's awkward, and I think the audience feels awkward too because everyone's in the spotlight at all times. So as an audience member, you're probably thinking, "Oh, they can see me. I should react, or I shouldn't do this. I should do that." And as the person on stage, you want to perform into this like abyss and not see that instant facial
Yes.
reaction. Like it's just a lot easier. Even delivering intros, it's so much easier when it's a dark theater versus when you can see everyone's faces, because you feel like you feel all the eyes on you.
Is it harder
versus-
for you to make eye contact when it's light?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's harder for you to make eye contact with the audience.
When it's light out.
It's more uncomfortable. I
It's
would
more
say.
Oh, I
uncomfortable.
see.
Not,
Yeah.
It's not harder. It's just
harder.
It's
More,
awkward
yeah.
and uncomfortable. Yeah. But I would assume an audience member would agree.
I don't think they're thinking about that.
Probably not.
No.
Probably. I don't know that I would.
Yeah.
But now that I'm like,
Maybe we should ask an audience member, being like, "Hey, is it what do you think is the difference between us doing it a day show or a show that you can in the light versus a show like in
I
a
know-
theater?"
I
Yeah.
know what I'm going to do. Next show, outdoors, my first intro, I'm just going to stare at some guy and be like,
Like a tall guy.
maybe.
Okay.
And just be like, how does this make you feel right now? And then we'll know.
So, okay, all right. So that was a great show. After the show, we stayed the night in Napa, and then we spent the day off there on Monday. It's been the first off day that we would have had in probably 10 days, and
Those
it's
were
something
boot-
to complain about.
They were boot camp days, though.
and it's
Hard
something to
for
complain about,
week.
but it's nice to just have nothing.
It was our
for
first
one
day to be like,
do.
oh,
Right.
we have nothing
We
to.
can
But-
rest our voices.
But
But instead,
exactly.
We were crushing.
So the next
lotteries.
day we go down to Riverside, and Riverside was the beginning of a new week. You know that you have 6 shows that week, and you're coming off an off day where you drank wine
Yeah.
and
weren't taking care of our
weren't
voices.
really taking care of yourself. I find that show right after the off day, not always, but when it's Napa, I find that very, very difficult. I felt like that show went really well, actually. I thought the audience was awesome. It was inside. I thought that
Catering
we
crushed.
sounded good.
I think any day off, it's good for your voice to have the rest. And regardless of if we would have gone wine tasting or not, if we would just had a day off in a random town, it
It
could
would
have
be
been
different if we didn't spend the day wine tasting and
no,
also
no, no.
talking.
I'm
all
just
day long
saying,
and
wine
singing.
tasting or not, if it would just been a day off, it would have been the same the next day too. Because once your voice gets that rest, it is good for your voice. But your voice is a muscle, so once it does something over and over again, it's gonna be better and better. So by the end of the week, you're like that Sunday show is always really good because your voice is really good. And then when you have that rest, yes, it's
So
good
you
for
feel
your,
strong on the show day after the off day.
no. I'm just saying after the off day, your voice is okay. We were off for a day. Now it's like a little bit more of an adjustment to get back to.
How did you feel at the Riverside show?
I felt pretty good.
About
I felt pretty good.
the music and about choreography after
Yeah.
having a day off.
I felt pretty good. It's just day offs are always different, but I felt pretty good about that show.
Segi?
Felt great.
Nice.
Was a little nervous
Why?
just because after that long run of
Yeah.
the boot camp rehearsals, then the Hollywood Bowl show, learning everything. We were singing a lot, and we have a new crew. That was another learning curve just right off the bat. Personally, I know that it would have been smarter for me to not go wine tasting and just rest my voice because we were crushing it all week. But you live one time. My wife was there.
Yeah.
Wanted to make sure she had a good time.
Yeah.
And we didn't go crazy.
No.
but you're drinking 4 or 5 tastes of wine.
And we were home by 8, probably.
Yeah.
It was early.
Yeah.
But I was surprised at how easily everything
Yeah. Same.
came out. But I think that's due to our pre-prep. If you were still thinking about stuff
Right.
after a day off like that, it would have been much harder.
Mhm.
But because we were in that rhythm already,
Yeah.
much easier.
So we do the show in Riverside, and then we go to Flagstaff, Arizona. It's an outdoor amphitheater. There was some kind of city around, but we were out in the forest. I thought the day was cool. I thought our energy was good. I feel like we've done a really good job of adapting just with all circumstances. And,
Totally
whether that
agree.
be the size of the crowd or whether that be the backstage where there's 1 or 2 dressing rooms. I feel like we've done a really good job of just
I totally
adapting.
agree. I think early in the SNC, the pro SNC days, anytime we would have a show with like really bad turnout, you could see it affect people's performances. And I think we've grown a lot
Mhm.
and understood that those empty seats are not the fault of the people that are in the seats. You know what I mean?
Sure.
They're
Yeah.
the ones that are there. Don't blame them that
Right.
you're not well known enough to fill the theater. So I think the group has evolved so positively in that sense where we're like, it doesn't matter if there's one person here or we're sold out. We're going to crush it so that that person leaves
Yeah.
saying, I'm glad I went.
In the signing line, I always get that feeling afterwards that like the people that were there really, really liked it.
Oh yeah, and at that show there was those girls off to the side. They were like all in
Yeah,
their
that
'90s
was really
garb.
fun,
They were
yeah.
loving every
Yeah.
song, and that's what makes it.
Yeah.
They were jamming. They were dancing. They was
Right.
so cool.
Okay, and then from there, we went to Layton, Utah, which is outside of Salt Lake City.
Yeah.
Like half
It's
hour
like,
outside.
It's like Thousand Oaks in LA. Like we crush in Thousand Oaks. LA is always so up.
So that was really fun. It was sold out. I thought the whole day was great.
Yeah.
I thought
We got to
I
see
thought the
fighter
backstage-
jets.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
the Red
yeah.
We
Russia.
were by a base, so we got to see
Yeah, that was really fun.
fighter jets just.
But it was
circling all
great
day.
to
It was
see a sold out crowd.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. It was awesome.
But I will say that because it was Utah, in the contract of the show, it says There's no suggestive references, no alcohol references, stuff like that. So we did have to switch around our show a bit. Like we had to omit some
Just tame it down a bit.
things, but
A couple of jokes.
But I don't have a problem with that, but like it's art, it's a show, it's not promoting anything, and I was happy to oblige. I was
Yeah.
right,
yeah,
and I'm not going to die on this hill.
I
But I thought I was
get what
like,
you're
oh,
saying.
that's interesting. I thought
I
was
get
like,
what
oh.
you're saying. Here's how I view it. So, I think your point of view has total merit, and I don't disagree with it whatsoever. But the way I think of it is, if we had rented out the building and put on the show ourselves versus been hired to do the show, if it was us that rented the place, did all the stuff, then I'd be like, okay, we're just going to do whatever we want because this is our thing. But because we were hired by a promoter in a venue, I viewed it a bit differently because
Oh,
we were brought in. So the person that brought us is our host, and our host is saying, hey, can you do ABC? I think, to me, that's different. If
I agree with the rationale
Yeah.
and why.
and I agree with you
saying
too.
that,
I agree with your point too.
but I was okay
Because
with
nothing
it.
we say is ever like really
No,
racist.
And like
No,
mo-
I'm
most,
not
the,
dying on
most,
the-
the majority of our show is very clean.
Yeah.
It's nothing that it's just like a
Yeah.
few
But
things
even,
here and there.
even the things that we would consider not clean for that show
Yeah.
are clean.
Yeah.
know what I mean?
No,
Like,
the
stage.
next show was Beaver Creek.
She-
I thought like
oh, Beaver
we've been
Creek's
there before.
amazing. Yeah.
it's not a huge venue, just real small,
it's awesome. It's like a lodge.
but it's proper.
For those listening, it's at about 8,000 feet
Oh,
altitude.
man. It was
Actually,
wild.
8,100.
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I was way off. I was
Was
way
there
off.
anything about
Read
the
a
show
book.
that like
Yes, Segi met his
stuck out to you
his
guys?
probably person that he strives to be in life
who's that?
at the end of the show. Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah. The owner of Kilroy's.
Oh yes, we met the owner. That's right.
Sorry.
He's a
Um,
donor to the theater.
Yes. So the owner of Kilroy's Sports Bar and Grill, Bloomington, Indiana.
Shout out.
Shout out. They were at our show, him and his wife.
Amazing.
So randomly. So we got to talk after the show, and I told him, listen, one
You
of
wanna
my
buy it?
goals in life is to buy Kilroy's. So he's, let's talk.
So we stayed the night, and then
Buses rolled at 7:30.
they left at about 7:30 from Beaver Creek. We stayed in Beaver Creek. We leave in the morning. We drive to Boulder, and the theater is up on this hill in Boulder. It was nice. There's a restaurant there. There's
It was a nightmare for the drivers to get to.
Nightmare
it was,
for the
It was
drivers.
honestly really impressive.
no air
watching
conditioning,
them.
no heat in the venue, but like it didn't need it, which was awesome because it was up on this hill, and it was like we were singing in a log cabin.
Very much one of the most unique venues
It was
we've ever.
I will
so
agree.
cool.
One of the
mo-
one of
It
the
was a giant
cool.
barn. It was so fun.
Picture a giant barn that has seats in it that like you're doing a show in.
Yeah, yeah, and no
Like
rats.
I have barns in my house.
Well, no rats, no cats, no mice,
no horses.
no horses,
No
no
hay.
like random snakes.
No getaway vehicles.
I'm sorry. What?
What?
Yeah, Mission Impossible. They were
Oh, right.
Sometimes say I don't know what you're talking about.
The Boulder show wasn't as bad, altitude-wise,
It was 3,000
It's-
feet
yeah.
less.
but it still felt a little.
Yeah, 5,000
you know.
feet. Still, you can notice it going
It-
upstairs for sure.
Yeah, that was a great crowd. I thought
Oh,
they
yeah.
were
Super
really
rowdy.
great.
I would love to perform there again. That was fun.
So fun,
That was
yeah.
fun.
They've always been like that kind of area has always been super fun, and then that actually gets us to today, which is Sunday, the 21st of July. We are in La Vista, Nebraska, which is outside of Omaha, and it is one of the most beautiful venues we've ever been to. I
very
think
nice.
It's brand
it is
new.
amazing. I do
It's-
have to say, we were supposed to play in the outdoor venue, but they moved us inside. But the outdoor venue is in the same area.
They
It's
share a
in-
wall.
They share a wall.
Yeah.
Yeah. Basically, if I was in the backstage and I walked through the wrong door, I would be on the outdoor stage as
Yeah.
opposed to the indoor stage. It was really nice. It's called the Astro. Is that right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Astro. It was really nice. yeah.
Beautiful, right?
Beautiful. Brand new. I think it's less than a year old, and it was an awesome, awesome venue. I mean,
so nice.
the crowd was
And
great.
Lisa was with us tonight.
Lisa was with us tonight. It was a great, great, great crowd.
Segi, what'd you think of today? It was kind of kind of a lazy Sunday, you know.
It was a good day.
Good day.
A lot of us got to wash our show clothes, which
Yeah.
is nice.
The little
I
things,
got-
the little things in life on tour go a long way. Laundry,
Good shower.
good Wi-Fi, good shower. That goes a long way.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's the end of the week, and the end of the week always
Hold on.
brings
Hold on.
what?
Hold on. We can't skip over tonight's show.
Yeah, we can't skip it over.
We had
Oh, I
a
wasn't
special
gonna-
circumstance.
We have an
in
injury.
tonight's show.
That's not
well,
where I
I
was
think you're
going.
going to move into that. No,
Yeah,
go
there
back
wasn't-
into what you were saying.
Fredo-
Freedom.
What happened?
So Freedom was jogging up the stairs after sound check or something, and when he got to literally the top step, he felt a muscle in his calf pull or strain.
Really?
Yeah.
So the text that we got was, "Hey guys, I can't put any weight on my foot. I'm going to need a stool for the show." We're like, okay.
So we've had injuries before.
Sure.
Tyler's
I've been
hurt.
injured,
Tyler
yes.
has a famous one.
I tore my
Walt's-
ACL on stage.
Walt did a
During
entire
what song?
tour in a sling.
Gaga, right?
I did my jump in Lady Gaga and my ACL tore,
And
and
then-
I had to hop off stage.
And then Walt did what? You said?
Walt was in a sling.
What did he do?
Remember, he tore his bicep in one of those trampoline jumpy things.
We sure it was that?
I don't know. I wasn't there.
I wasn't there
Um,
either.
Neither was I. Let's call Molly. That was a joke. So yeah, when Freedom was like, "Hey, I can't put any weight on this," we're like, "Okay, we have to figure out how we can do this show."
He sings a song in the show. It's called Freedom. He didn't write it after himself, but it's an awesome song. Freedom 90
How
by
does
George
it go?
Michael. It's
How does
awesome.
it go?
I won't let you down. I won't give you up. Have some faith in the sound. Things like that.
What sound?
Here's the thing.
the Hyannis sound.
We
Boom.
Full circle.
So we switched the show up tonight, but we also changed it up anyway because Lisa was there, and for Lisa as an opener, it's a little different for us because it's just one set. There's
yeah.
no intermission.
No intermission.
And we ran the show like normal, and I thought it went really well.
Yeah, it was fun.
Crap.
These indoor audiences have been amazing. I'm not saying that the outdoor ones haven't, but like tonight,
What's been amazing?
what?
This, right here.
Yeah, it's been good.
You guys
This-
can't see, but he's pointing at a pepperoni pizza.
This little, this little
Pepperoni
conversation
pizza
that
is
we've
so
had.
good.
I'm glad to be back on the pod.
Yes,
I'm glad to be
sir.
doing it.
I'm
Yeah,
actually-
dog.
I feel like we owe the listeners an update on what's going on with just us in general. And you don't have to get too serious if you don't
Personal
want to.
updates?
But I'll say
Sure.
it's been nice to get to a groove on the tour.
Mm-hmm.
I arranged a couple songs for this tour. I arranged Linger. I arranged Wannabe.
Linger is great.
All-star.
Linger is great, by the way.
Thank you.
I love singing it. I think it's an awesome arrangement.
And the process of arranging something and then having it sung by 8 other people, learning how to handle that stuff, and I thought it was really easy this time because I feel like everybody knew their parts, but otherwise things are good, man. But I'm looking forward to getting home after this tour, you know.
It'll be nice to get that time before the fall
And-
run.
Yeah, and looking ahead to the music that we're going to do for the fall run, if there's going to be something new.
I will.
But I think overall, things are solid.
I will say that it stinks leaving home, and obviously everybody loves being home with their family, but there's also another part of it for us that's we enjoy doing what we do. We enjoy singing. We enjoy performing. We enjoy being on stage. We enjoy seeing, for the most part, people enjoy what we're doing. They're clapping. They're cheering for this brand new set that we've done. We didn't know how it's going to go over, and like people are loving it. That's huge for us. And I've told my wife this before. I'm like, it's like a drug. It's like you get that fulfillment every night, and like people applauding and cheering and appreciating what you do. Like that's everything. It's so awesome.
What have you been doing, Sagi, since the end of the Canada run up until
Just
up until now?
hanging out at home, man. Kids are home from school for the summer. Jamie's busy working, crushing it. So trying to spend as much time as possible with the kids.
Yeah.
Get outside with them, watch movies with them, play games with them. But I'm excited to get back, have a couple weeks with them before they go
Yeah.
back to school.
Yeah, they start pretty early.
We're like
I know my
around
kids start August 8th or 9th.
Oh,
no,
that's
no,
early.
that's
we're
very
like
early.
we're middle of August, I think.
Okay.
We're, I think, like right before Labor Day.
Okay.
Oh, that's okay.
In a way, that's a bit of a relief, if I'm honest.
I honestly, I'm
But also
excited
they like
I'm
it.
excited for Jamie
Yeah.
because
So what?
she'll
So she
have
can
less on
some
her plate.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Because they're both going to be in school.
Right.
The bus stop is right in front of our house.
That's so key.
Mhm.
That's
Yeah,
so
it's
key.
huge.
Yeah,
Then
we have
we'll be
to
at
we
the
have to
same
we have to
schools.
drive her
Are you thinking about anything for the tour yet?
for the
Always.
fall.
Or are you just trying to get through
Always.
90s and then
Always.
and then
Always.
you're thinking about something else?
I had an arrangement. Obviously we have
No secret songs, right?
No secret songs. We've obviously introduced our new bass, Luke Bob, and I had an idea for an arrangement for him for this '90s tour, and then I decided not to do it because I had 4 arrangements on this tour, and I decided to just focus on that. But I switched my mentality to another idea that I have for him to hopefully feature him in the fall that I'm really excited about.
Any way you can give us a little tease of it?
He's a bass
music.
and you will. It's very, very much straight down that road. If you can think of bass singers,
He's
like
a bass, like the artist who you're going to cover is a bass.
correct.
Some would say the ace of bass.
No, I don't.
So he's a bass. Oh, all right.
So there's
Fun.
a
Okay.
certain. I think I'm going to do 2 songs,
Okay.
and hopefully, I mean, he's going to crush it, obviously.
Got it. Yeah.
And I have
He's
it in
great.
mind.
He's-
I still have to
he's
arrange it. I'm going to try to start it on this tour. I
Yeah.
don't know yet, but I have him in mind for a feature.
Yeah.
Because I think he'll crush it, obviously.
Have you, Segi, thought of anything? for
Yeah.
the tour?
So I was actually thinking the same song as Tyler, but for drum. Same artist,
Nice.
same 2 songs. Drum. No, I've got some ideas. Tyler and I are
But none that you want to share yet.
no
Yeah.
early
I will
stages.
say
you
that
know.
Early
the,
stages,
the,
yeah.
the thing that Segi does have, he's got ideas.
I have ideas.
He has all the ideas.
Most of them bad, but every once in a
No,
while,
you got some good ones.
every once in a while, there's a good one.
I
He's-
felt like
Mike's doing it. He's got an idea for Linger. It's just with sleigh bells.
yeah, I felt over the 90s, I thought it was going to be an EP. I didn't arrange that much. I felt like I was not that I was slacking off, but I
Well,
felt
no, you had a family vacation.
I know that wasn't it. I felt like I could have given a little more
You
right
know
to
what?
the
We were
project.
actually before you came in here. We were both saying that.
Yeah. So I feel like in the fall, I'm just saying, as we get out of the summer, for me, I feel like it's because the tour is going to be called
Top shelf.
Top shelf.
Top Shelf.
Top shelf.
What I'm thinking
You have to bring your
is,
highest stuff.
musically, I'm thinking that there's going to be at least half the show that is the hits that we do. I'm thinking like, what do we need, right? But a lot of the times, I think for me, the best things come when I'm not thinking about what we need. I want to make sure that I dig it and I don't hate it after 2 weeks, if that makes sense.
Oh, for you, it makes a lot of sense.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, Mike hates his arrangements immediately after presenting them to the group.
You're always going to want to do what you're passionate about, because if you're passionate about it, about
Yeah.
an arrangement,
But there's
You're-
always going to be the... Yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
if you're passionate about an arrangement, you're going to put your best foot forward. So like when I was doing stuff for this 90s tour, when we were talking about doing 90s, I really liked the song Runaround, and I was like, okay, I'm just going to do this for a quick hit on the
Right.
on
And
the
it's
on the
working really
socials,
well in the
and
show.
I was like, you know what, I'm gonna flush this out, and then I was like, okay, you know what if I did, Run Around, but also did Hook, that part that everybody knows, that suck it in, what if I did that in it? And I was like,
How does the rest go?
so it goes, but
no, we really want to know.
okay, the whole thing,
Yep.
1, 2, 3, 4. No, I'm not gonna do it.
Come on.
But
do it for the pod.
But I was passionate about it, and I was really excited about that arrangement. So I you know, those are the songs that you're going to be, as an arranger, are going to be the best because you're passionate about it, right? So I was passionate about that song, and I wanted to do it, and it's in the show, and it's going over great.
My philosophy is, what song is everyone going to hate the most, specifically the audience? And then I say, that's the one.
That's the one that we should do.
That's the one we should do.
Yeah, that's great.
No,
Um,
I have to like a song
Yeah.
to want to arrange
I
it.
mean, as we all go home after the 90s, actually, there's a week break, and then this is actually new information. We're going to try to release every pod on Wednesdays. Wednesdays is when you can expect the new upload for wherever you subscribe. Is that right, Segi?
That is correct.
Wednesdays.
Wednesdays.
Wherever you subscribe to Unofficial Official Pod, whether that be on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anything else like
Other ones,
Uh,
Amazon.
but it's
And wherever
at,
you get your podcasts.
at Unofficial Official Pod.
That's correct.
That's the correct one.
Just search Unofficial Official Pod
Love
in
it.
the podcast search bar.
Any closing thoughts to this episode number 4, the first one from the bus?
Right?
We apologize for the noise. We hope it wasn't too loud, but we're doing this, and this
It's
is a
raw,
part of
baby.
it. So
Thanks,
so any other
thanks
closing
everybody
thoughts,
for
guys?
listening. I appreciate all the fans that have come out to the shows, and appreciate everyone listening to this podcast. And I'm grateful for you guys, and happy to do this. So
Absolutely.
Yeah. Subscribe, tell a friend, share it. Even if they don't know who Straight No Chaser is, maybe they want to get to know, or want to get to know the three of us.
we're really cool.
We're cool-ish. But, yeah, we see you coming to shows. We see you buying merch and supporting us in many different ways. We see you posting about our shows, and we see you sharing our content to your followers as well. All of that stuff does not go unnoticed. It is the best.
Thank you.
You guys are the best. Thank you so much.
Thank
All right, guys. We will see you next time. Thank you.
Thank
For
you.
Mike, Segi, and Tyler, this has been the Unofficial Official Pod. We'll see you next time. Thank you so much.
Peace.
Wake